So we're going to look a little bit more at selections, and we're going to look specifically at these tools in here. The lasso tool, the polygon lasso, and the magnetic tool. So the polygon lasso allows you to draw some shapes. So let's take a look at that simply. So I'm going to take right here and click, and you can see, we're going to fine tune that click, and let's make sure we follow the piece of this wood here, click, and you see that little circle? That means now that I can close it. But you can see here, wait a minute, I don't want that portion in there. But remember, I can minus out selections. So we're going to still be in that tool. I'm going to hold down the Option key. Right, and I'm going to minus out this selection. As long as it kind of goes outside, we're good, and it minus that out. Great. So now I can do a new layer, and I can do whatever I want. I'm just showing you to color it just so you can see your selections actually happen on the screen here. Okay, so let's make another selection. Let's go back into there, and let's do the same one. And let's do maybe a little bit of a straighter one. Go over here, over here. Boom. Let's choose a different color. Okay. So there we have two colored. The one I want you to color next is this one that has the little cutouts in it. All right, so let's just make a new layer because I know that's where it's going to go. And I'm going to make this selection. Okay, but I want these cutouts, right? So I'm going to minus out my selection by holding down the Option key. Selecting outside of that, and we're going to do the same thing here. I should go out here too. Right? So I'm also going to get this chain in here. So if I don't want that, I could go in with the regular lasso tool, right? And again, minus out. Right? So it's not going to make the selection of that. It's going to do everything else around that. So let's fill this with, let's fill that with red. Okay, so you can see it made that selection without selecting that chain. So that's really the idea of how you can work with these selections. Is the lasso tool is a great thing to kind of go through and just be able to minus out some of these selections. So it's the same thing here. If I just wanted, let's say you wanted to copy this lock and you wanted to move it somewhere else. Right? We're going to use the polygon lasso tool here. Right? And that's okay, so that's a pretty good job. A couple things is this is a little bit rounder of a shape around here than probably the polygon can get to. So we're going to use the regular lasso tool. And in this case, just because of what I did, I'm going to add a little bit to that selection. And in here, let's add a little bit here. And you can see I can just go out on the outsides and just add little pieces to it. So maybe I feel like I should grab some of this. Right? So I can do that. I can make more of this organic shape that's here. Now we got in here, and so I'm going to go back in with this polygon tool, and we're going to minus out this selection here. So now let's take that, and let's say I wanted to move that. So on the background, we'll do that Command J. Right, and here I have that, right? So I selected it out, and I can move it anywhere that I want. Okay, the next thing that I want you to select is this emblem over here. And you can do it a couple ways. Let's use the magnetic lasso, and we'll see how that works. And And if you have a tablet, this works a lot better. And I'm just using the trackpad on my laptop for this right now. Right, let's move over. Okay, so that's selection. Not bad, not bad. So then if I wanted to fine tune it, I could take my lasso tool and, like, for example, here I didn't grab everything. So let's just add to that selection. Let's add to that selection over here. Let's add little pieces over here. Right, so now I could either copy it. Boom, there it is, right? It's a pretty good selection. Now, something else that's really great is, let's say I did move it, right? So I moved it over here, right? There it is. I made a new copy of it. It's sitting here. If I want to make that selection again, and this is a really good tool that I use constantly, if I hold down the Command key, my icon changes to the hand with a little selection around it. So anything that I click makes a selection, right? So I clicked that layer and made a selection of that layer. Now I could hold down the Shift key and I could add selections. So let's turn all these off. And we're going to create a new layer. It made a selection of everything that I had, which is really, I think, super cool. Right, so that is the idea with selections, transforming your selections, using the lasso tool, the polygon tool, and the magnetic tool.